Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world, my name is Brandon, aka Rags to Riches. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea why you are here. You have so much better to do with your time. I spent 3 hours with you guys last night, unfortunately, and we're back for more. Some of you actually let me sleep. Let's check chat here. Max Statico says discourse stream had proper capitulation vibes going on during an indicator to scoop up E-Hex, the real Hex. Sam, I am in the house. Katie, what is up? Godfather J6, Crypto Compassion. Guys, it's starting to grow back a little bit, right? Starting to grow back. About like 2 days, 2.5 days in. Here we go. Win Beard, DJ and Dougie Peach. Yo, Red Squirrel. What's up? What's up? Terrence Z. What is going on? I scooped up some texts, not gonna lie, guys. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Brizology, thanks, boss. Doc Holiday, outstanding. Let me turn this. We're clipping a little bit here. Okay, all right. Looks like liquidity is beginning to trickle in. Facing reality, boom. What's up, Facing Reality? Cypher Loke, what is going on? Looks like liquidity trickle in. PLSX is so damn cheap right now. I'm just waiting for my bridge DAI to be released. Yeah, guys. Now imagine this. Imagine this guy, Cypher Loke, who sometimes checks in, and he's saying it's so cheap right now. So that's indicative of his emotional state. He's like, man, this is some FOMO stuff. I'm just waiting for my bridge DAI to be released so I can buy that cheap PLSX. Folks, take that and multiply it by 10,000 people. Okay, take that, multiply it by 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 people. That's what we're dealing with right now. That is awesome. That's incredible. Rags, you just know how to spin things this way and that way. Guys, I know what demand looks like. I also know what opportunity looks like. I posted it on Twitter last night. Actually, this morning, maybe. I don't know. I sleep for 3 hours, wake up, answer questions for an hour, sleep for 3 hours, wake up, and keep doing it over and over. Sam, I am. Afternoon all. Mr. Rafferty, I'll be watching if I'm not banned. You keep talking like that, you might be. Son. All right. Mobius, hello. Let's see here. Rune Rags is going to bring some wisdom. Rune, like your chat with Jack. Yeah, so show true Jack Levin colors. So yesterday I got the opportunity to chat head to head, face to face with Jack Levin. So that was a very interesting conversation. Yup, K. What's up, man? Hexagon Contractor. What's up, Rags? Just tell us it was you who halted Pulse Ramp. We can keep it a secret, guys. I wanted it all for myself. All of it. All of it. Every bit. Mrs. Hexagon. Okay, cool. Guys, we're a little bit more informal today, right? Because we didn't have a launch and then we didn't have a bridge launch. So we're just going to take it easy. We're going to chill. We're going to talk about a lot. My goal here is to educate you guys. All right. And my goal is to educate you with the words of the man who launched this chain. Okay? To prove to you that I'm not just talking out of my butt, I'm going to replay some key speeches from this man that told you exactly how all of this was going to play out. All of it, folks. Okay? So we can just be chill. We can be relaxed. We can know that this is happening. Maybe, guys, the reason why Richard's so chill and relaxed is because he already talked about everything that's happening right now. He's already talked about it. Some of you, most of you guys are new. I'm going to give you some resources to be able to put your mind at ease. And I'm going to, all right, guys, here. I hate doing this, but this is a reminder, okay? This is going to be a reminder for many of you. And I want to say this. These are a bunch of quotes that I drummed up that will talk about just being chill in the face of chaos and adversity. So the first one, in the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside you. Number 2, peace is the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is rather than as you think it should be. Wow. Guys, tell me how many people in your life could benefit from that sort of advice. 3, you don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. You have to look at them, guys, and you have to accept them for what they are. But they do not have to control you. Remain calm, serene, always in command of yourself. You will then find out how easy it is to get along. I've said this many times in the past, guys. I said this in the bear market a couple times. If you cannot control your emotions when things are bad, when things get good, you have to live with the shame of your actions. Okay? I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying anybody's perfect, in fact. I'm saying that everybody who snaps or breaks when things are a little bit weird, you're going to have to live with how you reacted, and people will remember that. Okay? So that's why they say when times are hard, that's when you can see the character of a person. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one fault over another. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Dixon says, I have no shame left. I have no shame left, Rags. Chaos is inherent in all compounded things. Strive on with diligence. Do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. Breathe, let go, and remind yourself that this very moment is the only one you know you have for sure. And when you do that, what happens, folks? You value that moment much more than you would otherwise. All right, we're out of the philosophy realm right now. Sorry I had to do it, but you know what? I hope that helps some people. Okay. Sam says, I'm happy to have my time wasted. What are the steps for an airdrop? That ship has already sailed, my friend. Don't wreck yourself on fake airdrops. No airdrops, guys. There's no airdrops. Danny, the singer, first time to be here for the beginning of the live stream with Regs. Let's go, Brandon. I got a bunch of hate texts from wives all over the place saying that their husbands were watching my stream really, really late last night. So I apologize, wives. Sorry about that. Your husbands have nothing else better to do. You're the smart one in the relationship. I've got nothing better to do. Roof Dog, what is going on? Raskino, man, we just got so many. We got so many here, folks. All right. Who else we got here? Funding Jim, what is up, my man? Nice to have you in here. Okay, guys, I will say this too. It's going to be extremely difficult for me to get through all of these comments. It's going to be impossible. It's going to be frankly impossible. So I apologize. Before we get started, I need to do one more thing. I need to change the chat settings, and I don't need to do it there. I can do it here. And then we'll get into it, folks. We're gonna get a good old fashioned education out of this. All right, live chat. So now we get to see all chats live. Okay. I'd never let my wife know I was watching you. Trust me, Dougie. She won't let you know that she's watching me either. She hasn't for 2 years. Weak paper hands. Gary took a stance today. Yeah, good. I saw Gary's, you know what? Gary's getting fired up. Gary's sticking up for us, man. That's what Gary does. I love it. I love a little passion here, folks. Okay. All right. So let's first and foremost, I guess I want to get into what the bridge looks like. So we're going to look at that. I think this is a really good indicator of quite a few things. First and foremost, I think it's demand. All right. So one thing I want to tell you guys, Richard talked about that this morning, and Richard, and will I be able to do this? Make sure my DMs are closed. DMs are closed. Present, share screen, and boom. And we will add that. Okay, so Richard says, good morning, everyone. The bridge validators are deploying gas estimation upgrades to clear the path. There are 9 separate of them, and they're spread all over the world. So it takes a while. Real decentralization is safer and slower. Yes, I agree. Bridge backlog is still large and being worked on. You don't need to press claim on the Pulsechain side of the bridge. There will be a solution for getting native PLS to transact with. But until bridge backlog is resolved, they aren't working on that solution yet. Okay? So that right there should address a lot of the issues that you guys are having. All right. Why? Because he recognizes, which we knew he did, but he's just verifying it to make you feel better and everybody feel better. Hey, we see that there's a problem with PLS, people not having PLS. Okay. But we need to clear the path first before we go down that road. And when you understand, again, I talked about this yesterday, minimum viable product, there is a checklist of things that have to happen. Everything else is peripheral. Checklist of things that have to happen. And then we scale out from there into the other layers that can be improved. And this is one of them. And again, I'm going to prove to you that he was already talking about this. He's been talking about this the entire time. It's just a lot of new people are there, or there's a lot of people that are having their emotions cloud their memory. We've got some short-term amnesia. Now, we said that this was going to happen. To be fair, guys, I said that it was going to get crazy. I said that you just needed to sit back. Yesterday, I said, just go ahead and delete Twitter for a week or two. I said, this is going to be wild. And also, what did I say the last stream? I said the FUD is going to be at an all-time high. Come Monday, the FUD was going to be crazy. And that's what we're seeing, guys. This is exactly what we're seeing. Before we even knew that there were major problems. So, all right, so let me find where he shared the link to the bridge. Okay, here. Create new tab. I got so many tabs open. This is dumb. All right, let's get into this. And you guys should be able to see that here. All right, cool. All right, so this is what's neat. Last night when I went to slumber, okay, when I went down to the basement, when I went down to the dungeon and laid my ginger head to rest, we had about $13 million worth of liquidity locked up in the bridge. We're up to 26 million now. That's pretty cool, guys. And this is going to continue to go up, 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 up. Make no mistake about it, guys. That's what's going to happen. Let me take this off here real quick. Okay. So we've got 312 million hex, totaling $10,253,104. Now, what's interesting too is we have just about equal amounts of DAI versus USD. Got about 5 million apiece. So, 4.6 million worth of USDC and about 5.3 million worth of DAI. Now, this is real value, guys. Another thing I want to point out, the tether has increased as well. So we're about $1 million in tether, and we're about $4.5 million worth of wrapped Ethereum. Okay, and I'm going to explain this too, because I know we got a lot of new folks in here, and it's fine. I have heard people talk about bridges, and I swear, guys, I swear, people make it as complicated as possible when they're explaining things to make the people listening, to give them the impression that they're smarter than they actually are. I have heard some crazy stuff about bridges. Guys, I'm going to break it down to you. It is super simple. It is super simple, all right? I said it last night. I'm going to say it again. You got two islands that are side by side, right? They're separated by water, and there's no boats going back and through. There's no way they can't throw something over. Pigeons went extinct like 5 million years ago. There's no pigeons, guys. There's no pigeons. Gosh, right, man. God rest the pigeons. R.I.P. pigeons. Here's what it is. Here's what a bridge does. Two communities separated by two islands, all right? They speak different languages, okay? So even if they sent something over, they wouldn't be able to tell what the language was. Let me tell you what a bridge does. This is what it does. These two islands are actually two blockchains. Two blockchains, okay? That's simple. In between, there's a bridge. And the bridge does a couple things here. It can take the language of one of the islands and it can translate it so it can be used on the other island, okay? It can take the money of one island and it can take that money and it can translate it in such a way that it can be used on the other island and back and forth. That's what a bridge does. All right, so let's rein it in now. All right, so what's happening here? You have stable coins on Ethereum. You want to be able to use those stable coins on Pulsechain. There has to be a path. There has to be a way to go from one side, one island, to the other island. So we have a bridge, pulseramp.com. So what this does, it takes this monetary energy. So let's just say it takes 100,000 stable coins, 100,000 USDC. All right. So you guys are used to USDC. It's a stable coin. You take it, you lock it up. Okay, you're going to lock up this Ethereum USDC. And what the contract is going to do is going to issue copies based on that locked up Ethereum that can be used on Pulsechain. You guys get that? All right, and it wraps it up in such a way, and I'm not going to get into the technical details here. It just creates a version of that USDC that can be used on Pulsechain. It's like Pulsechain recognizes this thing, and here's the neat thing. Because it came from Ethereum, because that value is locked in a contract, and because that contract can copy over, or actually that contract creates an actual asset, okay, that is pegged to the value of that asset in the contract, you have real value on the chain now. These aren't just copies. All right. So here's what happened. We all knew that we got copies on the Pulsechain from the Ethereum side, right? The second that fork happened and those copies came over and we didn't have a bridge, at that point, those copies stopped following traditional assets that were moving in a market on Ethereum. There was no way for them to to gain any information. They couldn't connect back over to see what the value of those things were. So that's why we were ratio trading. We were just doing our best guesses. All right. Now, I told everybody in this chat multiple times, guys, stay away from it. Chill out. If you stayed away from it, if you chilled out, you're sitting pretty right now. Hopefully you guys didn't get wrecked too much. The bridge is open now. All right. Good stuff. Let me check chat before we move. I needed to make that very clear. Stone Cold Bill of Blake. What's up, dude? I know it's going to be good when you start smirking while you're talking. And this beard gives it away. Ooh. All right. What's up? DJ Polly Wood in the house. What's up, man? Polly, that's one good dude, man. It could well be, but your face is hairless. I like you. Nabil Steele, what is up? Hoo-yah. Absolutely. Sam, can you see his smirk? What up, Briz? Thoth says, Crypto Stylus in the house. What is going on? I have no shame left, Rags. Absolutely. Not financial advice, but last night in KDP Spaces, Fiat bummed me out. Prognosticating. Wow. Dude, triple word score. First and foremost, -1 in chat for that word, guys. Give him a -1. That's how we do it around here. So prognosticating that a 10x would be huge. Then I realized he's setting up a leverage platform, maybe a short. Thoughts? God, I don't talk in 100x's. I don't talk in 1000x's. I don't talk in 10,000x's. I talk in 10x's. Do you guys think that Hex is going to do a 10x from these prices on Pulsechain? Do you think that PulseX is going to do a 10x from these prices? Incentive token, Pulsechain, PulseX, Hex, incentive token, Texan. Do you think they're going to do a 10x from these prices? Dude, that's pretty bullish. That's pretty exciting. If you think that's the case, and I can't say either way, but guys, you got to frame things properly. Anything above a 10x, you're sitting pretty, folks. All right, Rags rolling out them saved fortune cookies, bro. You got no idea, man. Dude, I have every fortune cookie from the time I was 5 years old, bro. It's the only toy I had was, when you're a kid, you have this box. Did you guys do this? You have this box that you put all like special stuff in there, and it's like you find like a random 1970s porno when you're like 8 years old and you're trying to hide it from your mom. So you create a false bottom, you put it in there, and you found like a robin egg, a blue robin egg outside that's dried up. You put that in there. You know, what else? You find some like penny from 1962 or a quarter from 1962. You put it in there. You know what I'm saying, man? All the fortune cookies. Dude, I got all those fortune cookies, man. I got all those papers. It makes me feel good, man. It's my feel-good box. What am I even talking about right now? Finn Bear, feeling like a Christmas dinner fight. All right. Anyone know how the hell are we paid for providing liquidity? I can't see them pay anything at all. Cool. So guys, when you provide liquidity, you're paid two ways. You're incentivized two ways. All right. So for example, if I'm providing liquidity for Texan and I use Pulsechain, PLS, I'm going to be paid in with liquidity. I'm going to be paid in PLS, for example. All right. Or I'm going to be paid in Uniswap. Okay. Or I'm going to be paid in Pulsex. So you get paid based on you adding liquidity, and you also get paid if you take your tokens. Okay. So here's how it works. You take two sides, you pair them together in a liquidity pool. It could be set up already or not. You're going to receive these tokens. You're going to receive these LP tokens. And so that those LP tokens represent the percentage of your position in that liquidity pool. That's all that means. And I'm going to tell you why that's important in a second. When you get those LP tokens, you'll see them in your wallet. MetaMask will automatically add it. You could take those, and right now I think PLSX and Pulse are the only incentivized pairs right now. That's going to change. But you're going to take these, and then you can farm them. So you can take those tokens and stake them essentially, or farm them. And that's going to allow you to earn incentive token. So why does this happen? There's a grimy little thing called impermanent loss. So if you're providing liquidity with two sides, if one side's going way, way up in price, the market's buying it up, that means that the market's going to come to your liquidity pool. They're going to give you, for example, Texan, and they're going to take out Pulsechain. So what happens is the price goes up, you lose Pulsechain because people are taking it out and you're gaining Texan. So impermanent loss is the loss that you're going to have because you're losing that original Pulsechain that you put in. So in order to offset that loss, there's two incentives. You get a portion of every swap. The LP providers are going to get fees that's commensurate with the amount, the percentage of liquidity that you have in that pool, represented by your LP tokens. And also, they can offset that by using incentive token. Now, also by using incentive token, if you're not buying and selling, if you lock that incentive token up, it makes it just juicier for LP providers to have a hedge against impermanent loss. I know that sounds crazy, guys. Here's the bottom line. I just gave you just like a basic view of how it works. Go on YouTube and learn about it. In fact, I did an in-depth video probably about 18 months ago about Pulsex. Now it's a little bit outdated. It was based off the information we had back then. But I actually went like in depth with the mathematics of why impermanent loss happens. I take two pairs with a pool and I like do the math right there for you. So if you want to check that out, go check that out. All right. Yupk says that speech threw me into a severe depression. Dude, you're already in severe depression. You've not been out of severe depression. What are you talking about? Wise words. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Rich Liberation. Crypto Chronic. Okay, so apparently Funding Jim Funding Jim went off. Is that what we're talking about? With Papa? Great job earlier with Papa. Ooh, Papa Boner, maybe? Dang, drama? Dang, man. If you do liquidity providing for PLS, PLSX, do you get a reward in PLS, PLSX, or you get both. You'll get both. So you get incentivized with incentive token. You also get incentivized with a portion of the fees that are collected. Keep that in mind. And guys, this is different between different decentralized exchanges. Just keep that in mind too. Thank you for all the valuable information, Rags. 26 million is nothing. Yeah, there's billions of dollars locked up. Guys, we are day 3 or so. And there's a lot of timid people. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. It continues to go up. That is what we have to look at. We need 26 billion to say that's a good start. Well, I would say that it takes a very long time. And we're going to go over this too. You guys have such high expectations. You have such high expectations. And if you're being completely and truly honest with yourself, and Davis, I'm not talking to you specifically, I'm talking in general here. If you're being completely honest with yourself, you don't know anything about blockchain launches. You've not researched it. And all you're doing is parroting the FUD that you're seeing from everybody else. Okay, you can fight back against that FUD, or, you know what, FUD is just the absence of understanding. Okay, that you don't know one way or another. There's a difference between posting truth and there's a difference between posting FUD. FUD is you have no idea what you're parroting. Okay, farming is so confusing. No, farming's not confusing. The tokens that you get for providing liquidity, you can take those tokens and you can stake those. I just use stake for lack of a better term. You can stake those and you can receive incentive token, right? So the good thing for you is you get another token. The good thing for the decentralized exchanges, it makes you more sticky. You're less likely to pull out your liquidity providing position. You need things liquid. All right. If I go through all this, there is no way. There is absolutely no way. Stop reading off your pre-written script. Dude, I told you I compiled a list of quotes, you crazy fool. Let's get into this. Okay. First, let's check the charts. Some interesting stuff happening. Now, I haven't actually checked it here. I've already been going for what, like 30 minutes. I have not checked some of these. So what you're going to be seeing is what I'm going to be seeing real time. The first thing that I want to point out here is I think it's kind of playing out how we thought it might. I told you that I thought, based on some of the data that I collected in Twitter polls, I had like 5,000 votes on these things. So I think it represented a pretty good cross section of the amount of followers that I have, like 12,200, about 5,000 votes. That's pretty good. I said that I think people are just waiting to sell off the east side, the Hex. We're just talking about Hex right now because Hex is a good illustration of what happened really with all these assets. So people were a holding pattern just in case they could catch more upside before Pulsechain launched. They just kind of held their tokens. As soon as it is announced that it launched, they sold off. They sold off in anticipation of the bridge. They wanted to take that value and bridge it over. Now, once it was clear here, where'd that go? Yeah. Can you guys see that? How come you guys can't see that? I know you guys can't see that. Oh, that's why you guys can't see that. Oh, my bad. My bad, folks. Okay, here it is. Sorry, guys. Okay. So you see the sell-off. All right, that's that initial red candle. And this is the daily chart. So 2 days ago, 3 days ago here, that sell-off happened. It became very clear, I think, that the bridge was not, it's not functioning the way that everybody expected it to function. All right. They didn't realize what extremely high demand does to it. I think that people started buying up EHEX thinking, maybe a couple people did, and it just kind of started a little run. Yesterday, by the end of yesterday, I think I was on stream, Hex is up like 51%. Now that transactions are going through, and some people made about 50% of their money, and actually more if you caught this wick at the bottom. So people also almost made 90% of their money on the EHEX side. They're now taking that and they're selling off. Today, we have had about a 20 to 25% sell off. And I think that people they're preparing themselves to push this stuff across the bridge, or it's already queued up. So we're kind of seeing that right now with Hex. And I would say also that represents a great cross section of most of the other assets. Okay. And here's proof. Hedron, same thing. These guys, the Pulse Dogecoin people, same thing. Icosa, same thing. Texan, same thing. Okay. So I think that there's a little bit more confidence in the bridge now. I think that you will begin to see a little bit more sell-off with these assets. It would not surprise me whatsoever. All right, let's get into this now. We're going to get into the charts. The first chart that I want to show you guys, Cloudflare. Okay. The first chart I want to show you guys is Pulse versus DAI. Now, just to verify this, I want to make sure that you guys are very, very clear. Last night, I posted this. Last night, Richard posted this. Last night, Gold Key posted this. Last night, K4K posted this. Make sure that what you're doing is you're taking the actual bridge contract addresses. So these are the bridged assets. These are the addresses that cross the bridge. So for example, Texan crosses the bridge and it goes to this contract is Ethereum Texan. It's going to say something similar to that on Dex Screener. Make sure you're using that. Now, what you can do, let's just say we take DAI. This is the actual contract for DAI. What I can do is go there And up here at the top, it says search top left. I can paste that contract number, and then it's going to show me all the pairs on Deck Screener. You go to deckscreener.com/pulsechain. It will show me all the pairs with the real die contract that actually has value. Does that make sense, folks? Does that make sense here? All right, let me see. How do you get that larger chart format on Deck Screener? If you're on a PC, you just press Control and then the zoom in on your mouse wheel, or Control Plus, and that zooms in for you. All right. So this is going to show you all of the assets that are paired up with the real die, the die that we're actually concerned about, the die that has value. So that's exciting. That's awesome. It's incredible. So when we click, so let's go here. This is PLS versus die, the real die. PLS versus the real die is giving us a price chart, a really, really cool price chart. Okay. So what are we seeing here? It was doom and absolute gloom yesterday, guys. I can't tell you how many people were freaking out. I drew a line on this chart and it was at the SAC price. All right. Which was like, I don't know, like right here. And we watched it dip, and it stayed under for a while. I said, guys, listen. I said, there was a wick that happened. And I said, price is going to go down to this wick because it's attracted like a magnet, and then price is going to pump. So PLS versus DAI, this is USDC essentially. So this is the dollar value right now. We are now above SAC price, 0.000119.4. Okay. If you got in at these levels, congratulations. I'm sure a lot of people who had their stuff cleared this morning got in. I've always said, guys, based on me watching a lot of launches, you're going to see things fluctuate around the SAC price here, which is 3 zeros and a 1. But ultimately, you're going to see a lot of people want to defend that. But what does that line represent for a lot of people? That represents their principal. Okay, so you're going to see a defense of that. People know that if it drops underneath that, that's essentially in a way like a discount. Now, there's a whole other thing that most people aren't talking about that we will talk about. Okay. And that is this. Remember, and I put this in my Pulsechain checklist and my Pulsechain strategy list. I said, everybody, they're like, oh my gosh, it went under SAC price. Everybody's selling at a loss. No. Why? Because there was multipliers, especially for people with big bags. A lot of these pools, right? A lot of these pools that came together to get higher ranks, to get multipliers, you had a 1 to 10,000 for the most part. For every dollar that you sacrifice, you got 10,000 no value tokens. But also you got a bonus multiplier on top of that. So what does that actually do? That actually, it kind of decreases your cost basis. You're not really selling at a loss. A lot of these people aren't. I just want to point that out. Because I don't think I've seen that anywhere. I'm sure there's somebody talking about it. So right now we're going to see a war here. We're going to see it pump. We saw it pump above SAC price. We saw it pump 90%, guys. These levels right on top of SAC price, we're above it right now. Guys, congratulations. Most people couldn't catch this. So the whole narrative that I waited X amount of years and it's down 60%. And what the hell am I going to do? And F Richard Hart and F rags to riches and F you all. And then they wake up this morning. They're like, oh, wait, I am okay. It's 20% above SAC price. So I got a 20% discount. That's kind of crazy. Oh, plus a bonus multiplier. So maybe it's like 30 or 40 or 50 or 60% discount. Imagine that. God dang, rags. You're right. Dear Lord. All right. So this is basically showing us Pulse versus DAI. And we're going to have a war here for a while, folks. We're going to have people dump. Now, what's the liquidity look like? This is another good indicator. Last night when I went to bed, if you guys notice down here at the bottom right, And I'll zoom in a little bit more. These particular pools, okay, which is PLS die, this was about like 2 or 3,000 when I went to sleep last night. So we're up to about 45,000, right? So that's what, a 20 something X, 22X in liquidity pool thickening. This is going to be a process. Okay, now I'll tell you this too. Everybody thinks that this liquidity just exists in this pool. You got to understand the way that these decentralized exchanges work. They will route to different liquidity pools. Okay, they will route. So if they don't see a good price in this pool, they'll go and they'll buy up something else or trade something else in a different pool and maybe even go through another hop, and then bring it back. So the pool die, I would actually say that you need to look at the total chain's liquidity and die to give you a good understanding of how things are growing properly. That's what I would say. Finbear says, my no value token's down 89%. God bless America. Has the turbo reckoning subsided? I don't know, guys. I mean, if you just don't do anything. All right, let's give it a click here. All right, we clicked it. All right. Let's go to the next chart here. And we're going to kind of see a pattern forming here. So this is Hex versus PLS, right? Hex versus PLS. And right now, Hex versus PLS is kind of selling off. We do have a level of resistance here. When people stop getting so greedy and they feel more comfortable and they're not FOMOing, you're going to see a natural reaction for the charts to go up because people get a little bit more loose. They're like, yeah, you know what? We might be able to keep going up here. We might be able to keep going up. Remember, guys, this chart is just, it's an actualization. It is a visual illustration of human emotion, right? So here's the neat thing though, guys. These moves look small. This is 100% move from this bottom channel. I want to say that again. This is 100% move. So this is Hex versus Wrapped Pulse, or just PLS, we're going to just say. All right. So these are really, really big moves right now. Looks small in the chart. So if you can get your stuff in, I personally believe that what I said before was true. Day one, okay, you can take about half of your stack, you can put it into the market, and then you can DCA after that. So you can get those dips. So I know that it's very, very difficult to get money in right now. So maybe most people have, maybe 75% of people have some sort of liquidity here in the next 7 days. Guys, we are at the starting line. I want to point that out too. I've said this before. If you want to be successful in this thing, if you want to do well, instead of working 40 hours a week, work 60 hours a week for the next 2 years. I cannot say that enough, ladies and gentlemen. Cannot say that enough. Okay. All right, let's go to the next incentive token. You guys notice how these charts are shaped very similarly? Incentive token with PLS, Hex with PLS, Wrapped ETH with PLS, okay? Why is this? It's because, guys, when PLS is selling off or PLS is being bought up and all these other assets are tied together with that, you're going to see similar chart structures because PLS is selling off. So that means the other thing is potentially gaining value. So we're seeing that live right now. All right. All right. I'm going to show you guys what exactly I was talking about. Dex. Okay. Let me see if I can get in there. Hold on. Click Dex Screener. And then, all right, if you go to a desktop and you're on Dex Screener, on the left-hand side here, if you scroll down, let me take this comment from Davis off because we don't really want to give him any more attention than he actually needs. If you guys notice here, I can actually scroll down. Is it showing? Well, why is it not showing? Yeah, it's showing. I can scroll down to the middle here and you see Pulsechain. They added this. It was added from the start, but it was buried at the bottom. Now it seems like they brought it more towards the top. If you click this, you're going to be able to see a list of all of the pairs that are trading on Pulsex. You can sort by all sorts of cool metrics here. All right. Now I want to go down to got Link, we got ASIC, we got PZen, we got Hedron, all sorts of stuff. We're going to go to Texan here real quick. Again, guys, Texan, this is pumping really against Pulse 145% here since this is about 3 hours ago. And again, a part of that has to do with buying pressure and part of that doesn't. It's interesting to see the buys and sells occurring here. Got a whole lot of people, guys. Now, complete disclosure, I have to tell you guys this. I'm the co-founder of Texan Token. Anything that I say, do not take it as truth. Verify it yourself. But it's just interesting to watch all the buys and sells here. Liquidity thickening up. And basically, this is what's happening. Now, I want to do a shout out. People are going to hate me here. But here's how I know. Here's how I know what you guys are all about. You ready? You can't hide it. You can't hide it, folks. Look at this. It's the Pepe. It's the Pepe. We've got 238 billion with the B worth of pooled Pepe. So guys, ultimately, we want to see this sort of adoption. We want to see tokens from Ethereum shift over to this side. And this is being actively traded versus PLS. I mean, it's the price is so low, I'm not even going to calculate how much this is, but this is hundreds of percent here. So very interesting. The other thing that I wanted to point out, SHIB. SHIB is one of the more traded pairs on this chain, which again, in my opinion, is a pretty cool thing as well. Now, it is not showing, yeah, it is. It's very, very low liquidity, but SHIB is being traded as well. I would like to see some of these other communities pop in and hop in. I would really, really like to see that, but we'll see. Rags, please help me understand why or how the incentive token has or holds value. Isn't everyone just going to sell it Zen style? What am I missing? Yeah. There's a couple things, guys. There's a couple things that I'm going to point out here about the incentive token that you should probably consider. All right. The first thing that I'm going to point out about incentive token, there was no pre-allocation of incentive token. And I'm under the impression, based on my research, of a lot of successful tokens that have launched here in the past couple years, there is a big emphasis that is put on it crypto at large, broader crypto here, on tokens that don't have pre-allocations. Founders don't get massive amounts. There's no ICOs, things like that. So what does that represent? All right, first and foremost, incentive token has no pre-allocations. Well, how does incentive token get released into the marketplace? There's only one way. There's only one way to do it. Okay. It didn't just appear in these liquidity pools, folks. People had to farm their LP. You have to liquidity provide to be able to get access to this incentive token. And then those people can take that incentive token and they can earn more money by providing liquidity with this incentive token, pairing it with other things. So it does have intrinsic value. Okay. Now here's another reason why people want this thing, because it's actually hard to get. There are barriers. If you want a lot of it, you have to have big bags. Okay. And if you have big bags, you're probably not going to want to sell your stuff. You just want to make money on money. So you put it in the open market for people to buy. The other thing here is, I think it's 86,200 or 86,400 incentive token are released daily. Okay. Let me check this out. It's like 300 million, 86,000. $31 million of these things are released year one. We'll just say around about. It might be more like 36, 35 or 36. Okay. 35 or 36 million of these things are released day one. The way that you get it is it's the amount of the farm pool that you own determines how much of that inflation that you get every day. So 35 million the first year. The second year, there's only going to be about 17 to 20 million of these that are divvied out. Third year, it cuts down to, I think, 33% of the first year. And then the fourth year, I think it's like 25 to 20% got in. And by the end, by like year 6 or year 7, only 10% of the supply that we're seeing on year 1 is going to be divvied out. It's disinflationary. So it's kind of, in a way, I don't want to say this for sure, but it's kind of like it's kind of like Bitcoin's halvening when you have a supply shock. If it's harder, if the difficulty increases, okay, and the reward cuts in half, that creates a supply shock. It's more difficult to get 1 Bitcoin. Well, you're kind of seeing this in a way here too. There's a couple things that's going to happen with incentive token. The first thing that's going to happen is you're going to have that supply cut in half the second year, for example, and it's going to cut by certain amounts every year after that. But also think about this. If the only way to release that is through liquidity providing and the market grows and matures and these assets are more expensive, it's actually harder because you have to accumulate these assets. You have to pair them up equally inside of Pulsechain, and then you have to take that and farm it. So it's actually harder to even get these assets because they're going to be more expensive as the future moves on. So there's a lot of converging mechanics here that actually, in my opinion, make incentive token kind of exciting and kind of juicy. Let me check and see if we have any USD delineated pairs with incentive token here. And then we're going to see the price. We'll just see where it's trading right now. Incentive token is one of the least talked about out of everything, but I think it represents some interesting upside. I could be wrong. We could be sold on people's heads, but it's different than Zen, guys. It's different than Zen in that you have to actually provide something to the ecosystem. With Zen, you're just paying gas. You actually have to put your ass on the line with incentive token because you have to put your liquidity up in order to get it. Disinflationary, yeah, uninflationary. I say disinflationary. Let's check here. I'll pull the chart up once I got it. If you guys have questions in the chat, let me know. I'll try not to ignore everybody. No promises. No promises here. Pulsechain. There she is. In all of her purple glory. We're going to go to, let's check. Control V. Please tell me we got some ink. We got some ink in here? Where's ink? Oh, yes, we do. We got ink. Ooh. Now, does this have any sort of liquidity? No, this don't have any liquidity. Incentive token on DAI is trading right now at the bottom. Like last night, it was at $6. It's pumped to about $17 at this point. All right. So some of you guys are pissed. Some of you guys have been doing liquidity providing, and you're like, wow, like $17. It's only worth $17. Blah, 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 like negative Nancy's. But I'm like, yeah, there's this crazy thing called a calculator. I encourage you to use it because if you're making $17 a day, that's $510 a month. That's $510 a month, guys. All you're doing is providing liquidity. And then you can take that and you can provide liquidity with your incentive token. Okay, so it's just, here's the key. The key is taking advantage of an ecosystem. I call it the cornucopia of yield-bearing assets where you never have to sell. Now imagine this, when Liquid Loans launches and Power City gets their stuff online here, once volatility decreases, imagine being able to take all your assets and just taking loans out on those assets and actually never selling them, minting stablecoin, and then, providing liquidity that way, or buying your favorite assets with those stablecoins, and just making sure that you're extremely, extremely safe at this where you can't get liquidated. It's really, really cool. It's cool to see what's happening here. if crypto at large catches on to what's happening in here, like nothing would ever be able to stop the protocols in this chain. I mean, people talk about Hex being the financial black hole, which I do not disagree with at all. I think that Pulsechain is just like the giant marketing arm of everything that we have in here. That's incredible. And it's really incredible. Should I swap PLS right now or wait for launch? I'm not telling you. You do what you do. Do what you do. I think 90% of people will single side stake their PLSX. And, I'm not going to talk about that now. Most people don't understand the single sided staking either. I got too much to talk about here. Do you have to exit your liquidity position to add to it? No, I don't think so. I think you go to liquidity, you add liquidity, and then I think you can add additional liquidity to that position. Pretty sure you can. At least V3 you could, and that button does exist on PulseX right now. Somebody can confirm or deny that. I've not actually added additional yet. What R8 say? What did R8 say? Old Romeo Hotel. Oh my gosh. All right, let's check. Sorry, guys. I got tweets. All right, so there he is. Pulsechain.com is so popular that in 24 hours, it's done 150,000 transactions on one DEX, PulseX, while Ethereum has done 300,000 across all its DEXs. $27 million bridged in, waiting to come into the other side. Here's the funny part. Basically, the only people that have enough. Cool. So this is really cool too. That website that I shared the other day will show you actually how much is in the bridge. So very cool here. I'm going to share this with you guys. All right. Check this stuff out. Guys, this is bullish stuff here. Okay? This is extremely bullish. Don't listen to these daggone knuckleheads. They don't talk about stuff. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just parrots and they're emotionally compromised. So we got $10 million worth of Hex that's in that bridge waiting. How much of that 10 million has been claimed? 27%. 27% has been claimed. Okay, what about DAI? $5.5 million. How much has actually been claimed? 70,000. $70,000. USDC, $4.7 million going through the bridge. 4.7 million, 555,000. ETH, 2.5 thousand ETH. 307 ETH has been claimed. USDT, 1 million USDT, 230,000 has been claimed. This is cool, man. This is cool. Hex Siren says, who's this baby face guy? It sounds like Rags. All right, guys. You guys have stuck around here way too long, and we are not done. Believe it or not, we are not done. We got more. 54 minutes in. Guys, this is Rags V4. This is Rags V4. Now, I shaved live the other day. You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I said this the whole time. I'm making good on my promise. I am not shaving until we 1000x from all-time lows. I am not shaving until we 1000x from all-time lows on PulseX or Pulsechain. Whichever hits first. Dude, I'm going to make David Feeder's beard look like junior varsity. Okay? I'm going to make K4K's beard look like a Boy Scout. Y'all can clip it. Y'all can tag him. It's the beard wars, folks. Beard wars. All right? Woo! I'm all fired up, man. Guys, I'm going to be carrying around stone tablets everywhere I go with sandals, with the straps that come around the back of the heel from Roman times, with my big old ginger beard. What is it, Mount Sinai? Oh gosh, man. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's do this. All right, all right. Okay, you guys, I told you that these videos that I made last week? I think it was last week. I told you that these videos I made, they came from somewhere. They didn't just come from nowhere, folks. They freaking came from somewhere. So we're going to talk about this. What does this actually mean? What does Pulsechain mean? What's the significance? Why is it so important? Why are we here? Why are we doing this? For many of you, it's about money. It's not about money for me. It's not about money. It's not. There's a lot more important things, but I'm gonna slowly take you guys down this street, down this road, down this path, down this avenue, down this journey, and we're gonna get into it. All right, listen to this dude. You guys might have heard from him before.
Evidence to show me that that has happened in the past. I'm happy to see it, but even in that case, as I said previously, a fork is like a divorce, and everybody gets what they want, and you end up with two halves equaling more than the original whole. So it's good. It's good that BCH and Bitcoin exist. It was better for both of them because then they could go do their own things, and the two parts are better than the whole. So even if there was some on-chain value left for Hex on L1 Ethereum, I don't think it's that big a deal. And I don't think it's going to be the case, but we'll see. So it was a good question. Notice that this question that you asked didn't involve subtle fuck Richard kind of stuff, and so you got to
Okay. All right. You guys hear that? Now I'm going to go back a little bit. Let me see if you get any alpha
forms that don't have any fucking smart contracts.
Whoa. All right. All right. We're not doing F-bombs here. We ain't going to do it. All right. All right. All right. So, guys, do you see what that's all about? We don't get along with Ethereum. We don't get along with them. We're building our own thing. Okay. We're not going to be slaves to anybody else now. We're not going to have the OFAC compliance just freaking us out. And we're not going to have these gigantic fees that don't allow us to do anything on the chain. We can go do our own thing. And that's what's beautiful. We're building our own world out. He provided the land. Let's go settle it. All right. Let's talk about bridges. Let's talk about minimum viable product. Let's talk about these things. Let's see what he has to say here. And let me make sure that we're good there. Does it come over? Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's more like it'd be more important to launch even without bridges. Like launching and giving everyone the world's largest airdrop is extremely important. If we can have bridges up before then, great. If we can have the liquidity providing Uniswap fork before then, great. But if not, we just launch anyway and add the stuff later. So you can launch Pulsechain before the bridges, add bridges later, and you can add liquidity incentivization later as well. And there's other, yeah, it's not a blocking problem. Like, it's not a big deal.
Okay, did you guys just hear that? What did he say? Just launch it and you can add liquidity incentivization later, which is what we saw. He said you can launch it, launch the bridge later, and then you can incentivize things later after that. So what is that? That's telling us that he's already thought about this. We've already had these discussions. We already know what this looks like. Okay. So it's important not to freak out. It's very important not to freak out. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to find actually a good clip for you guys. Okay.
And then try and scale them external layers. And it was the absolute right thing to do. So look how well Hex is run. It's run amazingly well. And now it would be nice and awesome to move it to Sorry, I missed some of your guys' questions. Thoughts Thoughts on Decentraland? I'm not buying fake real estate, dude. Sorry. And the gas fees, lol, wrecked, ultra wrecked, not gas optimized. It might cost you like $80 to do anything on that shit. More. What are your thoughts on debt? Is it smart to leverage or buy a house with cash if you have the 300K? I mean, look, the guys that already have that figured out is like Personal Finance Reddit. So if you want to know whether to like get a loan or not, I mean, basically it summarizes to, if you can get a loan at 1% and the markets pay 10% or 20%, seems like a no-brainer. And if it doesn't work out, you can file bankruptcy. So it's almost like a free call option. I mean, seems like a good idea to me. Richard Hart, the logo, the hexagon goes up and to the right. Did you play with the direction of the color gradient too? How did you choose the final design? Through iteration and a lot of hard
guys.
So you can see life savings, Richard. Yep. Or hex.com and more hex and some more fucking hex for Bitcoin. You can't. It's that easy. Just got in the stream, man. Just want to ask, what's the story behind the title? Cheers. It's so people click it. Are you Richard chatting with? I already covered that. Or resident. Or .xyz, match. On Telegram. Would be cool. You know, like, who else? Jesus Christ. Let's go for that one. I'll take Jesus. Having dinner with Jesus. Richard, why not Forkeith and Rust? Well, because everyone else just already chose Geth. And people just being paired, they stick with Geth or Rust, but just everyone else chose against that, so I'm also going to choose against that. So I think Go is where we're going to be. And found a solution that I did not find. I did not find that solution. I do not provide liquidity on it. I have never, I don't have shit to do with it. But the Hex community did it. You have to understand, okay, how much advantage am I going to get from using this instead of that? And these stack and design parameter decisions exist on multiple levels. So we have to choose an encapsulation for virtualization if we're going to use it to avoid dependency hell, or standardize everyone on OS with a really good README that can handle all to the point where you can even write code and start compiling it and trying to put on a test net. It's actually really hard to get developers up to speed on that. And now there's even fake NPM installs out there that trick you into installing a hacked dependency. What's your favorite number and size for the jerseys? Something other than ERC20? Yeah, sure. But then you're going to invalidate the audits.
Okay. This did not go the way I thought it would go. Let me minimize this. I had this locked down though, man. Dang.
It's minimum viable necessary. And right now, for me, minimum viable necessary is a VMware or other, right, encapsulation, Docker, Kubernetes, whatever, to fight dependency hell that has testnet issued on it. And then we can iterate things that are important to users on that testnet. Like, okay, well, let's have a version of Etherscan. Let's have a block explorer. Okay, let's have a version of Infura for people that don't want to host their own nodes and just want to use APIs. And then, so if you've got consensus network, if you've got system state from L1 already, and if you've got an Infura and a block explorer, you're good to go.
All right. That's what I wanted to show you guys. That's important here. Okay. He just listed out the three things that you needed. You needed consensus, you needed the system state, and you needed a block explorer. This is exactly what he's doing right now. He's just launching the minimum viable product needed, and we're going to scale out from there. We're going to move out from there. Very important.
Now, the only thing you're missing is wallet. And guess what? It's already done. So right now in MetaMask, if you want to use Matic, you just drop down a drop-down box, type the URL. And I think I've even seen screenshots of them making that easier to just drop it down without having to type anything. So less user error, right? And why would MetaMask support that? because MetaMask is making all of its money on swaps, all of it. So why would they want to be tied to one chain? And I've even seen Etherscan have multiple other Etherscans for other chains by the same team. So Etherscan's down to play multi-chain. MetaMask is down to play multi-chain. And I'm happy to have another chain. So, it seems very nice to me.
So minimum viable product. That's what we have. We've got wallets. We've got Block Explorer. We've got Consensus. And we're good to go here. That's what we're doing. Don't freak out, folks. Don't freak out. I'm telling you not to freak out, and y'all are freaking out. Especially Finbear. Finbear freaks out more than anybody else. We already know that. All right, I got some notes here. Demand is high. Pulsechain is bridging in assets. Liquidity pools are slowly filling up. Let me remind you guys of what things looked like prior to 2017. Guys, it was an absolute nightmare. If you just got into crypto in the past couple of years, you are so lucky. Do you know the hell that you had to live through realizing that you transferred like 50 or 100 Bitcoin and then not being able to see that comes through for 2 days? You freaking kidding me, guys? 50 to 100 Bitcoin? Guys, that was scary. Now, why is this? It's because the infrastructure, guys. Infrastructure isn't there yet. It's just not there yet. It's not there yet. But I'll say this too. What is there? Let me tell you what's there. All right. The process to stand up a chain was very slow because there weren't people out there that knew about what was happening. There just weren't people out there. They didn't know about crypto. You know how hard it was to get the level of adoption? You know how many years it would take to get the level of adoption that we have already pre-bridge and then post-bridge? Guys, they would have traded everything back in the day to get what we have in terms of community. We are so far ahead of the game, like crazy. Okay? We are in hyper drive. What's the other thing? Not only do we have community, we've got lots of money, folks. That's important. Lots and lots and lots of money. So that's really, really cool too. These bridges, this technology that we have, it is not built or made for this amount of traffic. And I don't care what anybody says. I've heard this narrative out there. Guys, we broke it. We snapped it. We destroyed it. Okay? We didn't destroy it. It's just massively backlogged. This is all good things. Why is gas so high? Because demand's there. These are good things, folks. Why does liquidity continue to go up in the bridge? Because there's demand. No profit from the work of others. And here's the other thing too. People are pissed on Twitter because they cannot be instantly gratified and they have no context about where we are or where we've been. They're used to the traditional banking system. Okay? Everybody is getting super upset. Some people's portfolios are up 40% right now. If you donated day one, where are all the haters tweeting about how they screwed up and they were sorry? Where are they at? I don't even like using the word haters. It's just people that are fearful and they're just taking it out on Twitter. They're just afraid. I get that. But there's no apologies and they just kind of fade away into the wind. We're good. We're chilling. Everything looks okay right now. I promise you this. I'm used to this, man. Cryptocurrency has probably created more patience inside of me than anything else in my entire life, except for my wife. Consider this too. This is an idea that I had last night, all right? All eyes on Richard with regards to this launch from regulators. Oh, wait a minute. What are you talking about, Rags? Yeah, there's people watching this. There are people watching this. Now, the onus is on Richard to stick to his fundamentals of no expectations. Why is that? Because there are things called Howey tests. Okay? And this has to be spoken about because I've heard literally nobody talk about this. And here's my idea. This is kind of what created this idea in my head. You don't think Richard could have funded those validator wallets himself for the bridge? You don't think he could have done that? Of course he could have freaking done that. Why didn't he do it, guys? Why did he crowdfund it instead? I guarantee it had something to do with the notion, at least a part of it, with the notion of no expectations, no profit from the work of others. I really, really believe that. So keep that in mind too, man. There's a lot of little undercurrents. There's a lot of things happening and going on. Could I be wrong? Sure, be wrong. But, it's one of those things we can't ever verify because Richard probably wouldn't confirm nor deny that anyway. Okay. Do I have the other one? Yes, we already talked about that. Okay, cool. We're there. Oh, we didn't do this one. We need to do this one so you guys can understand what's happening right now. Okay? And for some of you who are new, this is going to be very important for you to listen to. So I'm going to take my ugly mug off screen here. And we're going to listen to this. We're going to listen. All right, I'm going to zoom in. Bing, bang, boom.
So you only need.
All right, sorry guys. Sorry, it wasn't showing. And this pops up.
The total token supply stays the same. That assigns the value to the P paid basically, and then we could do a bridge the same way that you would BEP20 to ERC20.
Well, you don't even need a bridge. If you're going to destroy one, you don't need the bridge.
Well,
you only need a bridge if you're going to. So all a bridge does is lock a coin on one side, release the fake coin on the other side, and then you can destroy the fake coin to release the real one again. That's all bridging does. But if you're going to destroy this side, you don't need to bridge it because you're never going to go back. So you only need bridge if you're going to stay on the Ethereum network.
Well, you do, because what if some people want to use let's say DeFi tools that are only available on the Ethereum network and on the Pulse network?
Well, you could, kind of, but you could bridge the other way, and you could bridge your P paid over to the Ethereum network, do all that stuff, and then come back. Really, you could do any of these things. Like the sky is the limit. So you could bridge E paid to the Pulse network. You could bridge P paid to the ETH network. You could have automated packet pairs on both sides. All of this, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think that the part that I'm having a hard time with is the price discovery aspect of it, and like I can clearly draw a conclusion.
All right, guys, price discovery. This is the question that you guys have had. This is the speculation that he's talked about before. I'm going to play this for you. How do things get value that are just copied over? You got to have a connection back to a market. That's one way. So we're going to talk more about this. Here we go.
I can clearly draw a conclusion to this. Like imagine how weird it would be if instead of using a bridge to get the BEP20 version of paid, we just minted the total token supply on BEP20 and released it and said, oh, now your supply has just doubled.
Well, it's just like a stock split. That happens all the time in Legacy. Works fine.
Well, you give people, if the stock splits, people get more of the stock, right? That's yeah.
Now you have more tokens.
That's true.
But I I'm not sure that mechanic works. Like I think the two halves are worth more than the whole. So I think for Hex, I don't know why you would see cheap Hex anywhere, but we'll see. People are going to decide. Like for instance, if you're a Hex holder and you've got Hex on Ethereum and the Pulse network launches, are you in a rush to sell your Ethereum Hex? And if you are, what is it that you're likely to be buying? Is it the Pulse Hex? So I don't see how this isn't a massive win. It seems like when Bitcoin Cash split from Bitcoin, they both did okay. Like even though Bitcoin Cash hasn't performed as well as Bitcoin, it's still worth billions and billions of dollars, and it was created from thin air. It's still worth billions and billions of dollars. $2.2 million worth of Bitcoin Cash was sacrificed for the sacrifice phase. Only $18 million were sacrificed on the Bitcoin side. About $180 million of stablecoin, $200 million or $400 million of Hex, and 25 million to charity. I think we got 2.6 million on ADA, only 80 grand on TRX. It's really interesting to see where these adoption numbers are for these different chains, because you're always curious. You're like, are there real users here? I've never heard of AVAX before. Yeah, they suck. They only got like 80 grand. So TRX and AVAX are the absolute bottom of the sacrifice list. And ADA is just under, ADA is on top of BCH and just under Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's under Ethereum. And then
can you go and say those numbers all again? How much were sacrificed?
Yeah, sure.
So far?
Yeah, so we got 400 million, and it might have been as high as 600 million worth of hacks because it was valued at the time. You know, the price was a little bit higher when they sacrificed it. So currently, right now, the amount of sacrificed hex is worth 400 million. The amount of USDC, USDT, and DAI is 200 million. The amount of Bitcoin is about 18 million. Bitcoin Cash, 2.2. ADA, 2.6. Monero, 1 million. Litecoin, 1 million. Lumens, 250K. XRP, 600,000, maybe 700,000 now. Monero, I said that one, 1 million. I don't know the Zcash number yet. We have to beat.
Okay. So you guys kind of see what that's all about. You guys kind of see how things determine price. Now, it really boils down to the market. It boils down to the people that are holding these funds. Are people going to take to Pulsechain? Are they going to bridge in their assets? Are they going to pair their PRC20 versions with their ERC20 versions to give them some sort of value? Interesting. All right. This is neat. This is what market dynamics are all about. Question: do you know why the bridged over USDC does have a 1-to-1 peg with Ethereum USDC? It's currently sitting at around 50 cents on the dollar. DAI is the only one that seems to be worth $1. Let's check. Let's check into this. I don't have the answer right away, but I will be, as my UK, I'd be keen to take a look, friend. Keen. Y'all say some crazy stuff, man. My brothers from another mother across the pond. Shout out Money Gang Crypto. Shout out Red Squirrel. Oi, oi. All right. So let's check. All right. So first and foremost, we're going to get our official address. That's important. USDC. It ends in 1 Foxtrot 07. Copy. We're going to go up here. Let's go to boom. Boom. And so what's your question here? Just to make sure, 1-to-1 peg with ETH, the ETH USDC. How do you know it doesn't? What pool are you showing to indicate that it does not? Because the bridged in USDC is showing a price for Ethereum of actually more, 2,331. What's the price of Ethereum? 1,800, 1,900, I thought. Yeah, 1,800. This is just trading at a premium because there are probably liquidity is thin. A lot of this has to do with liquidity too, folks. Let's check though. I want to give you a good answer. I don't want to give you a BS answer. All right, so we're going to search for this pair. Boom. So, all right, here's what I think this is. Did I copy USDC? Did copy USDC? Why would USDC? Okay, so against DAI, why would it be trading? Maybe one thing that it has to do with here is the fact that there's only $1,300 of pooled USDC in that pair. But there is also 13. So here's what's interesting. There is an equal amount of USDC to DAI. So that is 1 for 1. Let's check Pulsex here real quick. check Pulsex, do some investigation. All right. DAI, USDC. One USDC equals 54 cents worth of DAI. Let's check here. The only thing that I can think that it could be is there's just tomfoolery with the liquidity pools. That's the only thing that could really be affecting this, because it is the actual asset. I don't really know what else that could be. Let me check the DAI pool. Let me see how much liquidity is in there. Because we've got, in terms of USDC, we've got 8 point. So there's only $8,000 in Pulsex liquidity providing for USDC, whereas there's 70,000 for DAI. So I don't know, man. It has to have something to do with the mechanics of the liquidity pools draining or not. That's the only answer that I have, just being put on the spot here. That's a really good question. Great question. Do you think there could be a problem with people adding liquidity? I know there's hundreds of thousands of USD already sent. No. Once it comes over, there's not going to be a problem with it at all. What's the contract for DAI? How can I find it? Richard posted the contract addresses. I also posted the contract addresses last night for Hex, WETH, DAI, and USDC. So you can see those posted on my Twitter. And I got those from Richard. ETH on Pulse can be used to mint DAI on Pulse. Don't know where or how that would happen. My guess on why DAI might hold peg is because of the theory they can use support Pulsechain. So maybe maybe it's just not, maybe there's not confidence with USDC. Although here's the thing, I've never seen an instance where USDC that goes to a bridge contract gets invalidated. So I don't really think that would be the case. I don't think as long as it's still one for one, it's not copied and it's not being used for transactions after the bridge is opened, that copied USDC is nothing. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It has to be liquidity. Guys, it's a liquidity issue. USDT versus DAI. USDT is 68 cents versus DAI. But that USDT is not the real USDT. Or it might be. I'd have to get the contract address for that to check it out. Check one more thing here. Oh, this is interesting. This is DAI versus DAI. So this is going to be so this is the copy. Somebody paired up real DAI with fake DAI. So I think they paired up their ERC20 with their PRC20. There's $52 of fake DAI paired up with $48,000 of real DAI. So that's 0.001. Interesting. Yeah, it's got a long way to go to reach parity. This is all pretty cool, man. It's all pretty cool to watch. All right, PLSXs. Let's check these real quick again. All right. Present screen. I said this is going to be the first one here is going to be incentive token. So this is incentive token versus DAI, which is actual DAI. Incentive token's trading at $14, but liquidity pool is just absolute garbage. But it's trading at $14. It's interesting how much people actually aren't selling it off. There's actually $3.5 thousand worth of volume. 1.7. It's just nothing at all. Anemic on that. PulseX versus Pulse. Let's see what's happening here. PulseX is selling off significantly versus Pulse. They're trying to pump it. I don't think that there's going to be as much demand for PulseX as there is going to be Pulse initially. And we're kind of seeing that play out right now. We are kind of seeing that play out. How big are these pools? Whoa. $26.1 million of Pulse pooled with 26.1 of PulseX. Guys, right now, everybody's competing for the same piece of the pie with the incentive token because there's only one pool that's open that's receiving incentive, I believe. So just keep an eye out on PulseX when some of these other pools pop up and you got some of these pairs, you can get a bigger piece of the pie quicker. The name of the game with incentive token is getting in at the beginning when you don't have a lot of competition and the inflation isn't split up hundreds of thousands of different ways. How's it going, brother? Where can I see the bridged and claimed stats that K4K posted on Twitter? Guys, what's the daggone website? The Richard tweeted it. I should have bookmarked it. Sorry, guys. Using it last night. I'm searching. We'll find it. We'll find it together, ladies and gentlemen. Help me out here, chat. You guys got to do something too, man. You can't just sit here and listen to me. You got to participate here. Jeez, man. All you got, you just take. That's all you do. Take. The second, old Rags needs a little help. PLSburn.com. PLSburn.com. All right, so that's what it is. $11 billion worth of PLSX have been burned so far. Okay. PLS, 694 million burned. Nice. 634,000 transactions for PLS, volume 1.17 trillion. PLSX, 2.8 trillion. Liquidity, 270 billion. All right, we're coming up on, with PLSX, it looks like coming up on $1 trillion of liquidity. Now that's definitely not USDC value, obviously. And I'd say probably, who knows how much total USDC value? A fraction of that. 291,000 of incentive circulating. Guys, so 291,000 has been divvied out so far. What percentage of that have you received? What percentage have you received? Okay. All right. Gas prices 7 million beat. how much is 7 million beat? We'll go to I think I actually beats converter. I did it. I actually did that. So how much is $7 million worth of beat? Or 7 million beats. Okay. So we go here to beats converter 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 million beat is 0.007 pulse. Outstanding. All right. So here's the deal, guys. We've been going for like 2 hours, another 2 hours here, just wasting your time constantly with me. Nothing else better to do. Hour 32 minutes. We've gone over quite a bit. I'm going to try to do these sit reps once every couple days just to keep you guys clued in on what's happening. I know a lot of you guys have day jobs and things like that. I can help you out. I'll try to consolidate, condense things. The biggest thing that I would impress upon you guys, if you're a part of my little community here, guys, let's work together, man. If you guys find something interesting, just tweet it at me. Let me check it out. We can talk about it. We can learn together. I'll do as much work as I can on the back end to collect this information and deliver it in such a way that is digestible and understandable. That's what's important to me. All right. Another thing, guys, I'm just going to, there's not many places that I would feel comfortable sending you guys to ask questions. And this is going to come across as a marketing ploy. In some way, it definitely is. T.me/Texan token. If you have questions, we have people there that are extremely, extremely knowledgeable. And I think they take pride in helping folks. So if you guys need help, I can't promise you that you're going to get the answer that you need, but you're going to get the effort that you probably need. All right. Now, another thing, don't go in there. Don't go abusing my people. Don't be demanding, because I'd kick ignorant, demanding dumbasses out of there very quickly. And if you try to act crazy and you try to soft shill and you try to FUD stuff, you're going to get wrecked. And if I'm around, I'll make an example out of you. I love doing that stuff. Love doing it. Jonathan Paul, what's up, man? Nice to have you. Missed the last 10 minutes or so. Do you have thoughts on the Ledger stuff coming out? Ledgers, yeah, I was reading about that. I don't know quite enough about it to really, really understand it, but it looks scary to me. We'll probably talk about that tomorrow. And then Discord. All right, I actually need to address this here real quick. Copy. If you guys are Discord people, we also have a Discord set up. All right. I'm going to post that in the comments here. All right. Yo, Rags, is there a solution for tokens on MetaMask connected to Ethereum not showing correctly? Connected to Pulsechain? It's correct, though, guys. That's just all a problem that's going to sort itself out as time goes on. Really, as long as you know how to look at the amount of tokens that you have and you know how to calculate the value using Dex Screener. There's even calculators at the bottom of the if you hit info, you go to Dex Screener, find your trading pair, hit info. There's a calculator at the bottom. Okay. So Discord, if you guys want to use that, use Discord. Let's just be positive here, folks. Let's just hang out. Let's chill. Let's not make any rash decisions. Everything's playing out the way it's supposed to be playing out. It's not going to be easy. Okay. I think Alex from Hedron also made mention of this. Hey, the storm is coming. The storm doesn't necessarily have to be a good thing. Storm could be a bad thing, right? It could be a bad thing too. So you got this far. Most of you are actually up right now if you have PLS or PLSX. Well, it looks like it dipped down for PLSX. Guys, just stay cool, calm, and collected. This is the price that you pay. This is the price that you pay. Patience is a virtue. Any idea when we're going to get your coins? You got your coins already? The next 2 to 3 weeks, Pulsechain will be buggy and glitches will happen as everything comes online. Yes, we're going to scale out. We're going to take care of the minimum viable product stuff, and then we're going to improve things outwardly from there, those layers. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world, I'm going to play you some blues because you love it. It's going to be loud, so turn your speakers down. I'll give you 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Goodbye.